D-Rock, I have a question for you. Is Anthony Campanelli really the secret sauce behind this defense? Like, tell me what he's doing to help maximize this run defense.
Well, he has done a really good job of, and I think we may talk about this later, but at the bye, they kind of looked at, hey, what are we doing really well? What are we doing that we can really improve on, and what are some stuff that maybe we need to jettison here? Let's not overcomplicate things. Find what we're really good at, and let's go ahead and concentrate on doing that. You mentioned Josh Allen earlier, and he's been very, very good as a pass rusher. He's among the top 5 in the league in pressures. He only has 8 sacks. But the thing about him and the guy on the other, and Trayvon Walker, the number 1 overall pick in 22, who's just really not become the pass rusher. They are really, really good edge setters and really good edge defenders against the run. And that, we point to the interior a lot for run defense, and Devon Hamilton, the nose tackle, is probably having the best year of his career, even though numbers may not show it. But he's been fantastic. But it's those guys out on the edge too that do a really good job of keeping that stuff funneled in and not letting guys get outside. Foye Oluokun, who you mentioned, is just a tackling machine.
Absolute beast.
It's every week it's like 10, 12 tackles and 2 for loss. I mean, he's just all over the place. And then you add in Devin Lloyd, who's probably played, not probably, he's definitely played the best year of his career, and they figured out the right way to use him. And it's been, I thought they had a chance to be pretty good against the run this year, but I didn't think it would be to that level. Now, part of that too, a little bit is, they've gotten off to some big leads on these teams like the Jets and the Titans, and the Chargers, for example, so they've been able to kind of take teams away out of that, and teams have had to go, they got to throw to catch up. So that's a little bit of it. But, look, they haven't given up a 100-yard rusher all year. I think there's only been one guy that's had 70 or more yards against his team. That was Jonathan Taylor, and he did it twice. But nobody else has cracked 70 yards against his team. So it's been pretty consistent, even when teams have been in games and they've tried to run it.
Talk about edge setters, Matt Perino. I'm telling you, dude, I played on this team for a year. I would break the huddle. I would just look at the defense and I'd say, Jesus, these dudes are gigantic. Because of course you have those 2 edge setters who are just giant human beings. You have Devon Hamilton, who's a monster. And you have Eric Armstead, who's, dude, in his pads is at least 7 feet tall. Absolute maniac. Now, Matt, bread and butter, like we talked about, is this rush offense. They love it. In the beginning of the year, we talked about it earlier, is that they were hitting their bread and butter, which was weak side, outside zone, backside cutoff, maybe a duo with a bounce back. Now they've added a few different wrinkles into that. My question for you is not so much the schematics of this, but how do you think Joe Brady and Aaron Crummer in this run offense attack, or even continue doing what they do and feasting on that run game to set up that play action with those tight ends who are the guys that Josh is most comfortable with? How do they keep this going for this game?
So one of the wrinkles that I think is in the back pocket of Joe Brady that we have not seen this year, and we can get into the why, but they were the number 1 team in the NFL in terms of using the jumbo tight end, the extra offensive lineman in 2024. They haven't really had to use that this year because their rookie tight end, Jackson Hawes, has allowed them to become more of a 13 personnel team to however they kind of want to deploy the run game. And that to me is the secret sauce of what they're able to do, is that they run out of everything. Even in games, some games where they've struggled late in the season offensively, they've still been able to even run out of 11 personnel, which hasn't always been the case for the Bills. That's really tough when you don't have all your big bodies on the field. That's really impressive. And I think part of that is like Dawson Knox is an above average, if not good blocker in the run game. That's a big piece of it. But here's one little nugget that I went back and looked at the Jags schedule, and it's daunting how good they've been against running backs. But the one game where I feel like a team got after them on the ground was when the quarterback took part in the action. And that was Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. He ran for 60 and a touchdown in that game. That's what you're facing this week against the Bills. Like, I don't care if that foot is broken. I don't care if he's hobbling. Josh Allen is going to be running, and he's going to be that untamed, wild animal. I know that you guys like to call him the Stallion, right? Like that's the little nickname in the building. He's going to be that on Sunday. And that's, to me, also what makes their traditional run game so special, is that you have to deal with James Cook in all these different ways to deploy him. Reggie Gilliam's a key. to the run game. He is
Well
an
said.
elite level fullback blocker that doesn't get the love that he deserves.
No, he does not.
Hawes is great. They have great blocking receivers. Like Mitch, you've been around the league. How many times you go to a practice and it's individual drills and the wide receivers are usually working with the wide receiver coach, routes versus air, everything like that. In Buffalo this year, especially, and it's probably at Cromer's direction, they're doing blocking drills. The wide receivers are doing blocking drills in practice. So I think this is just a team that it's like a mentality. They're going to try to set the physical tone in a game when it comes to their quarterback running, and then when the ball is in James Cook's hand. And Ray Davis, who you look up last week, I know it's the Jets. I mean, basically it was like, practice squad team, but he goes for over 100 with James Cook watching from the sideline. And they have a lot of talent in that room. And I didn't mention Ty Johnson on the injury report. He's dealing with an ankle, and he has not practiced the last 2 days. If he doesn't go, listen, they have tons of faith in James Cook and Ray Davis. And you probably hear Ty Johnson like, okay, what's the big deal? He does a lot of different things. He's their best pass blocker at the running back position, and he is just that Swiss Army knife. And so if they don't have him available, it's definitely something worthwhile mentioning.
And there's nothing I can do